Before we start this video, do like and subscribe to our channel and not miss on any updates.
Hello friends. So this is what I want to discuss today. A lot of students post the results recently reached out to me saying, sir, we have cleared CA Inter. What should I do in my career? Sir, I have cleared my CA final. I am preparing for campus placements. I want to do this in my life. I want to do an MBA. What do you suggested path? So friends, I made this common video for people who are both in CA Inter, that is they've passed CA Inter, and those who have passed final. Right, because some of the aspects what I am going to advise you can do actually immediately after you pass your Inter as well. So first things first, see, if you want to do an MBA, why does one need to do an MBA? Of course, career, salary, progression, so on and so forth. But if you look at it from a core perspective, right, what is the value that an MBA adds? One, it adds network, it gives experience in different subjects, it gets you, exposure to people who have different experiences in life, right? And then of course, placements, different industry. Broadly, these are the reasons, right? Placement, salary, both mean the same thing, right? So these are broadly the reasons. If you are a fresh CA graduate, I mean, you've just qualified your CA exams, right? If you want to do an MBA, my suggestion, work for 1 to 2 years. Why do I say work for 1 to 2 years? Most of the tier 1 MBA colleges, let's say IMS, ISB, XLRI, MDI, SP Jane Jalal Bajaj, IAFT, then FMS. These colleges actually take students who get good scores in CAT as well as who have good acads, and they look for candidates who are placeable. Now, you with your CA degree are definitely a placeable candidate, but then you are competing against several other people. You are competing against several other smart people. You are competing against people who are, probably who are top of the class right through their childhood, right? So they get to choose and pick. They get to pick and choose. These institutes get to pick and choose. They will always choose the people who are academically bright and who also have this, are a good placeable commodity. Please, pardon my usage of the word commodity, but that is what it is. They are a good placeable candidate. Okay, if you want to use that word, we can use that. So that is very, very important. So what happens is, if you have a couple of years of experience, you will actually be able, in fact, most of these institutes are now taking only people with 1 to 2 years experience. Most of the IIMs, there are always exceptions. Few candidates are always exceptions. ISB anyway takes people only with experience. But most of the institutes are taking people with at least 1 or 2 years experience. This 1 or 2 years experience adds a lot more value in your MBA classes where you do case study method of preparation. Right? For a CA student, or rather for a person who's finished CA, this 1 to 2 years of experience is very, very important. You actually get an opportunity to work in, let's say, an iBank or a normal bank, or any of the nifty 50 companies, right? If you are going to work in these and then do your MBA, your potential value to an employer post your MBA is significantly high. So I would always suggest that if your career plan is towards investment banking, PE, VC, or any of the things like this, work for 1 or 2 years, if possible, immediately after your CA in this domain. It is very tough. Okay, it is not easy to get jobs in this, but work in this domain so that when you finish your MBA, you actually can get placed in these jobs. So your entry determines your exit. Please note, entry and exit are linked to a large extent, right? And this is one aspect. Second aspect, if your goal in life is CFO, if you want to become a CFO of an organization, you're a hardcore accountant, you're more comfortable with income tax, more comfortable with GST, you're more a company law person, you're not necessarily an MBA-ish, this flamboyant person. You probably are more numbers person with respect to accounting and so on and so forth. Then MBA is not necessary, but even then MBA adds a lot of value. And the reason is very simple. You get network of students, you get a network of friends who are very different experiences. You get experience in different subjects. As a CFO, you are supposed to interact with the HR team, sales team, marketing team, production team, operations team. You have to interact with everybody. If you don't know what is it that they're doing, how will you be able to add value to the company or the organization where you're working? So even if your plan is to become a CFO or at a later point of time, MBA is still advisable but not necessary. It is not 100% necessary, but still MBA from a good college is definitely advisable. After doing CA, doing an MBA from a tier 2 college is absolutely waste of time. I'm pretty sure nobody does that. Okay, but doing from a tier 1 college is 100% definitely value add. Whether you want to get into any of these iBanks, PE or VC, or you want to become a CFO, I would always strongly suggest that you do an MBA. For that, my suggestion is always write CAT from third year BCom. If you are doing BCom, don't prepare, just write 1 or 2 times. Anyway, my suggestion is to do an MBA after what? After 1 or 2 years work ex. So after you get, by the time you get this 1 or 2 years work ex, please also prepare for GMAT. Okay, there are a lot of good B schools outside India as well. If that is something that you can afford, if that is something that you have in mind, this is also a very good opportunity. You need to get a good score above, let's say 740, 750 is a very good score. Sometimes even 720 is a good score. 720 to 750, 760 is very good score. So if you get this score, and even in CAT, you have to get this 99.5 or 6 or something like that, right? If you get these scores, if you start preparing for these exams well before you actually take the exam for the final time, or rather well before the D-Day, so you take them for just trial basis, no? Right in third year of BCom, ऐसे ही जाके CAT लिख के आओ, right? Just go and do that. It will give you an experience. It will tell you whether you are up for it or not, whether you can write it or not, whether you can attempt it or not, is it for you or not. You'll understand a lot of these things, right? So I always suggest, CA students who have either finished BCom, who have either finished inter or finished final, write CAT once, irrespective of the fact whether you're going to get admission or not, right? Having said this, another aspect that I wish to highlight is, please don't think that CA is the only education. Okay, even if you are a BCom plus CA and you want to do an MBA, I would strongly advise, and if you are planning to make a career in iBanking, PE or VC, I would strongly advise a course like CFA or FRM. I would very, very strongly advise a course. Even if you are a good, top ranker CA, or if you are a, first attempt CA, doesn't matter anything. I would still advise these 2 courses, either along with CA or after CA before you actually go for MBA. Again, why? Placeable. You have become a placeable product. You stand a much better chance at placements than any of your fellow peers. Nowadays, everybody is doing multiple qualifications. So in my father's time, doing a CA was a great thing. In my grandfather's time, doing a BCom was a great thing. In my time, doing CA plus MBA was a great thing. In your time, having 3-4 degrees is important for you to actually be specialized in a topic, right? In today's day and age, having just 1 degree and expecting that you will get a phenomenal placement is, I think, is not not a right assumption. If you are planning for entrepreneurship, obviously all this is not required. If you are an all India first ranker in CA, probably all this is not required, right? But for a lot of us who are not rankers, who are probably first attempt, some of them may be second attempt, some of them have aspirations, but they have. If you have to become, get into some of these large VC, PE investment banks, the only way is to have additional degrees, do MBA from a tier 1 college. And even to get into MBA, you have to do this because you have to be a placeable commodity and finish your CA, right? So I would strongly suggest everyone to do at least 2-3 courses. And believe me, friends, CFA, FRM are not very tough. When you are in your 20s, you can put in effort. Please note, once you get into a job, life is even more hectic. It is in your student days that you actually have time. So my strong suggestion, always do this along with CA, which is why I made this first statement, which is what? CA Inter Pass and CA Final Pass. Both of them, I suggest do courses. If you're already doing, very good, right? If you're not doing, please study for CFA or FRM or something like that, or do a course. If you don't like CFA, FRM, you please do something like CPA or CIMA or CMA or ACCA. Have an additional qualification and then go into an MBA. If you're going to get into a iBank or PE or VC, these qualifications might help. Again, it is not necessary, they will help, they might help. If you want to become a CFO, with just your BCom and CA, my strong suggestion, do something like CPA or ACCA, and of course ACCA, and of course plus an MBA. I would always strongly suggest, if your aspirations are high, do an MBA. If your aspirations are not high, don't expect that automatically something will come and fall in your lap just because you dreamt one day. If you dream, you have to care to follow through for the dream. You have to do additional courses. What is the additional course that you have to do? Depends on what you want to be in your career. If you want jobs like this, you have to do this. If you want a job like this, you have to do this. Okay, so this is what I wanted to let you know. I strongly believe that for first attempt and even second attempt students of CA and MBA as well as CFA qualifications will add a lot of value. If you have any more doubts, feel free to reach out to us. I'm always there to help you, there to assist you. Please comment on this video, please share this video, please like this video, subscribe to our channel. We'll be coming out with a lot more information, lot more videos that are helpful to you for your career. All the very best.